Well, that's an interesting tale, isn't it, about that pink-haired Labour politician, Minister for Transport, Louise Haigh. What's been revealed about her history. Now, if you read it in The Guardian, she's done something small, and it's kind of a shame thing as to where it's kind of a technicality, something small, and it's like, no. What she's done is a serious offence. Like, not like an armed robbery, not like a rape, not like a murder, but a serious crime. What did she do? Turns out she wanted a new phone from work. People had been getting new phones, and she had this old phone, and she wanted a new phone. So instead of asking for one, she hatched a plan to report to the police that she'd been mugged and had her bag stolen that had a phone in it. Now, street robbery, as it's called, mugging, is a serious crime. And when someone gets mugged, the police do investigate it. Why? Because you're dealing with a criminal who's dangerous, because they're a predator who's looking for the easiest chance. If you've got one of those at large, you need to get them off the streets. And always when someone's a mugger, it's never the first time they've ever committed a crime. You're quite advanced on your career as a criminal who's got a deranged way of seeing the world. You're quite far down the path of being a dangerous predator when you're mugging people in the street. So if you report a mugging like she did, the police are actually going to investigate thoroughly. And saying your phone's gone missing is to give the police a lead. And they will follow that lead, because she's given a description of a person who doesn't exist for a crime that never happened, just so she could get a new phone from her employers. So the crime is a serious crime of giving a false police report and sending the police on a manhunt. And it is a manhunt. I know people who've gone to prison for street robbery. Nowadays, people they've learned the lesson because they paid a terribly high price. I know kids who've been to prison for street robbery. I know a guy who went to prison for mugging someone, and he only got 2 pence from him. But he mugged someone for 2 pence, and he went to prison for it. It's really serious. This is like Jussie Smollett, but this is like Jussie Smollett gone a little bit further. Jussie Smollett wasn't robbed. He made that into a hoax. That was a hoax political move to get attention. Street robbers go to prison. Muggers go to prison. So the only lead they've been given in the crime is the phone. They've used the technology of the time to track the phone and found out that it hadn't been stolen. They've gone back to her and they've arrested her for making a false police report, and the evidence that they have would be irrefutable. This wasn't stolen. This didn't happen. She's gone to court, she's pled guilty, and she's been given a slap on the wrist. To my mind, she should have probably got herself like 12 weeks in prison for making a false police report like that, because she's wasted police time, because she's basically told them that there is a very dangerous criminal at large whose next victim might not be so lucky as she was, just to get her bag snatched. So what does this tell you about a person's character, that they were willing to go to such lengths to get whatever they wanted, were willing to tell any lie to authority to get what they wanted? And the thing they wanted be something so small and pathetic as an upgraded phone. Well, that would say to me that this person is of ill temperament to have any kind of responsibility, and that you're actually dealing with a criminal here who's capable of all nature of dishonesty, all nature of lies, because in the first instance you thought it was a good idea to do what you did, and only a fool would think that. You've given away the way your mind works. You've told the world what you are, What you are is a lying scumbag criminal. Just that you got caught stealing something very small. No less a criminal. Now, this person not long after that was allowed to become a Labour MP. What does that say about the Labour Party? What does that say? Because even if they'd have known about it and they went, oh, well, it was just a mistake and it was only over a phone, you know, a little white lie, no one got hurt, it was a victimless crime in the end. It's like, no, it's not. It's a reflection that someone's of a criminal mind and temperament. And you're willing to take in somebody like that. Either they don't think that that was noteworthy, or they didn't know about it. And this person's then lied, because must be something on the forms you fill in as to whether or not you are a criminal. It's like if you were to, if I was to fill in an application form for a job and it says, do you have a criminal record? It's like, no. I've committed a few civil offences. I've got a caution for a non-crime hate incident on my record. I've got a couple of driving offences on my record, but that's all. So I wouldn't have to put anything down. Have you committed a criminal offence? But if you've committed an act of fraud at making a false police report, that's something that should go down on every single form you ever fill in. That's something you have to really own up to, because that's, if they were to check, that's information that would be available to a prospective employer, that you have a criminal record. Very difficult to lie your way past having been in prison. I know a few who have and got away with it, but they happen to also be very, very competent at the job. By the time that the game was up, it just becomes cleverness because the guy's a genius. I used to have a manager once I used to work for, who I think the world of. He was a brilliant guy. He was like a football hooligan, hard bastard rugby player who was took no shit from anybody, but was generally honest. He didn't tell the firm that we work for that before he worked for the firm that he'd been in prison. He told them that he'd been living in another country. And it was years later where they found out that he was in prison, and that it was just a matter of it being a great big joke. So people do get away with it. People do get away with not owning up to the fact that they're a convicted criminal. But it's a matter of, to be a member of Parliament and to get away with this. It's like there's a massive problem. This is where the Labour Party is a piece of shit. You know that I hate the Labour Party. And a big reason I hate the Labour Party is there is absolutely no quality control. You can go online and fill in a form and join the Labour Party, get a membership card, start turning up to the local branch meetings, and at the local branch meetings, demonstrate you know the left-wing spiel, in essence, give a few Obama speeches. And then those idiots who are already there, who give everyone the benefit of the doubt, they'd be like, he's a good orator with his Obama speech. He makes me feel good about my beliefs. He's one of us. She's one of us. Would you like to become a councillor? Would you like to be a politician? Would you like to take this up professionally? Oh, yes. I've always wanted to learn about politics. Maybe I should become a member of Parliament in order to learn about politics, not go to a fucking library or subscribe to some decent YouTube channels where you can learn a thing or two. No. I'd like to learn on the job and become a politician. Okay. Haigh woman. Where has she got the attention of the media and the like in her career as a politician? Why is she someone who's become high profile? Accusing others of telling lies and committing acts of fraud. That's where she's made a name for herself. It was Guido Fawkes, who are doing a tremendous job at the moment exposing people in the Labour Party as being fraudsters. They put together a little montage of the number of times she'd accused the Tory government members of the Tory government of being liars and fraudsters and needing to resign. And it's something like 7 clips where she accuses people of being exactly what she is and demanding action from them. It's like, you're a psychopath, love. You're probably a narcissist. You're certainly a massive liar, and you're projecting your own character onto other people. It's like, it's amazing how much you know and how much you can discern about someone who is telling lies. The old notion of it takes one to know one. That's quite a bad analogy, actually. It takes one to know one. It's more should be more. If you're a fool, you can be fooled. If you're a criminal, liar, you tend to think that other people are criminals and liars too. Part narcissist storytelling. In any story they tell, they always have to be the hero or the victim. They can never be a bystander. They can never play a bit part. They always had to be the main person in the story. Usually a dead giveaway for someone having defects in that regard is that every story is always about them. And they're always the one who won the day, or they were always the one who was hard done by, ripped off, a victim. So you run your mouth like that around people who understand what it means, and suddenly it's a matter of, the old saying used to be is that, used to say things like, would you like a bucket of gravy to go with the chip on your shoulder? It's like, one minute you're a hero and the next minute you're a victim. And when called into question, suddenly you're being bullied. We know about these folk, don't we? Well, it appears the Labour Party don't. Tell them what they want to hear and you can go all the way to the top. Completely wide open to being infiltrated by every criminal shyster in the country. I mean, why not join the Labour Party? It's almost a get out of jail free card. Start associating with people who are your betters, as to where if you get in trouble, it makes them look bad, therefore they feel compelled to cover up your crimes and give you the benefit of the doubt and believe your lies. Surround yourself with these people. And then suddenly, oh, it's no big deal. She just gave a false police report, sent them on a wild goose chase looking for some arch criminal who doesn't exist for the pettiest of reasons. Oh my God, what does that make you? So it's just wide open for shameless people to just walk in and play at politics. And they don't know anything, they don't listen to anyone, but they've learned the ideology, so they just act according to what the ideology points to next. And you wonder why we suffer from poor governance at local level and national level, because all of the big towns and cities are stitched up by the Labour Party. They tend to gang stalk and witch hunt any legitimate opposition. And then all we've got left with are these criminals and fraudsters and those around them who perpetually give them the benefit of the doubt. Thank you very much for having no quality control whatsoever, Labour Party. You've contrived to put this country in a lot of trouble.